So, what are we talking about today? Okay. In his book, The Daniel Plan, Dr. Mark Hyman shares the incredible story of his work at Saddleback Church, where, with the support of their celebrity pastor, Rick Warren, the church's population of 15,000 lost a combined 250,000 pounds and dozens of diagnoses. Let me repeat that. They lost a combined 250,000 pounds and dozens of diagnoses by taking full advantage of the incredible power of a diet. Hold up, rewind. That's not what it says. By taking full advantage of the incredible power of what? Community. Are diets what's best for the body? Thank you for joining this morning. I am live in Clubhouse. If you'd like to participate in the conversation, you can join us over there. Otherwise, you can comment here on Facebook or YouTube. My name is Crystal Arthur. I am a functional nutrition coach, host of the Functional Faith Show, owner and founder of Functional Faith Wholeness Clinic, where we empower fed-up millennials in St. Louis and beyond to feed their mind, body, and spirit so they have simplicity, confidence, and freedom in their health care and soul care. Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna get that together. I'm gonna smooth that out. So what are we talking about again today is diets. Are they what's best for our bodies? Okay. So what is a diet? Well, most of us, I think, are very well aware of what a diet is, right? We are bombarded by a lot of different diets and have been for decades. Most of us have tried one diet or another. And a diet, the way that we understand diets, is a certain way of eating, a specific food plan to meet a certain goal. But what a diet is really, truly, technically, is just how you eat. So how you're eating right now is a diet. A diet isn't necessarily something that you get on. A diet isn't something that you do for a certain period of time to achieve a goal. But that's how we've framed it in our culture. So whatever you're eating right now is your diet. Most people are on what's called the SAD diet, the Standard American Diet. That looks like a carb. Yeah, I'm skipping ahead of myself. That looks like a diet that is carb laden. It's really, really high in carbohydrates, mostly simple carbohydrates. It's full of sugar. It has a lot of processed hydrogenated oils, and it is usually really high in animal protein as well. That's the standard American diet. And what it's led to is our country and Western culture having really, really, really high rates of disease, of chronic disease, of what has become known as lifestyle diseases, things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease. Most disease is recognized mainstream as being preventable with diet and lifestyle modification. But it's so difficult. And let me know if you're familiar with the Daniel Plan. You can comment or you can come on stage and tell me if you're familiar with the Daniel Plan. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just a really bomb diet, right? I'll just get on this diet and it's going to solve all my problems. Like it, resolved a lot of these people's problems. But the key is what I read earlier. It wasn't the plan. It wasn't the diet. It was the education. It was the community, right? They had a community of other people who were doing it with them. They were receiving education about how their food was impacting them in body, mind, and spirit. That was the key. So what is a diet? A diet is just how you're eating. It's how you eat, what you eat. That is a diet. So why is a diet not the best thing for your body? The way that we define diet, right? Why is a diet, air quotes, not the best thing for your body? Well, first off, many people go on a diet for temporary. They don't define it correctly, right? And they go on a diet for a temporary amount of time, and when they come off the diet, they actually gain back a lot of the weight that they lost, right? And even actually, there recently was a development with the medication that's supposed to help with weight loss, and but people get on it and they do have results, but then they get off of it and they gain back the weight and more. That's what's typical with diets. And I'm not saying that's the case across the board. Obviously, there's some people who do a particular diet and they have a lifetime change. And there's some people who might use this medication and have a lifetime change. It might just be what catapults them and just gives them a little bit extra encouragement and motivation to make those changes. But at that point, they had a change of lifestyle. They changed their foundational diet. They weren't just on a diet, right? They had a lifestyle change. So for one, diets actually can be when we're yo-yo dieting or crash dieting or just following the next fad, especially if the goal is only weight loss, it can actually be detrimental because we can diet and then we can lose the weight and then we can gain it back, right? And with obesity comes a range, a host of other conditions oftentimes and eventually. And so in that way, diets can actually be detrimental. If we're just following this eating plan, we're not educating ourselves about the impact of food on our bodies, and then we stop or we take cheat days. I saw something recently where it was like, you're not a dog, you don't earn treats. It was a health coach, and I was like, oh snap, you're not a dog. You are not a dog. You don't earn treats. You don't eat broccoli and chicken for a week, and then on Sunday you get to have, your cheat day where you're putting all of these things in your body that your body is wanting to release because it's not serving you and it's not giving you the energy that you need to serve others or the Lord, right? And so you're not a dog, right? But then what about therapeutic diets? Because there are many incredibly therapeutic diets. Caveat for most people. About 80% of people will get on a therapeutic diet. That would be something like the paleo diet or the SCD, the specific carbohydrate diet, or the keto diet. Originally, the keto diet was used with patients with seizures to reduce their seizures. So even with these therapeutic diets, they only work for about 80% of the people. So what about the other 20? What about the people who do all the right things and they follow these diets religiously and they see no results? They don't have the miraculous stories that they heard about, that they saw online, or they actually have adverse reactions. What about those people? Well, in that case, once again, the diet isn't what's best. So what is a diet? A diet is how you're eating. Why is a diet maybe not what's best? Well, at worst, it's actually going to cause you to gain more weight in the end and become more discouraged and feel more hopeless. At best, it works for 80% of the people, but it leaves 20% of the people still feeling hopeless after all of that work and all of that striving and energy put into following a very strict diet. So how can we eat? How can we diet, for our body? Well, first off, it starts with education. Educating ourselves about how food works and how food is fuel, and how food is more than just what we see on the outside. It's made out of vitamins, minerals, and it has different elements in it that impacts everyone's bodies differently. The next step is learning to listen to your own body. We are different. We are all unique. And what is serving my body may not serve yours, even if it's a health food, even if it's a nutritious diet. Maybe you are allergic to avocados. Maybe you have a reaction to coconut oil, right? So these things that people say everyone should be eating, and it's a part of everyone's, like I cook a lot with eggs. But there was a season where my husband couldn't have eggs. And that was a struggle. Let me tell you, that was a struggle. And it was frustrating because I know that eggs can be so nutritious. So listening to our bodies, understanding how food works, and then releasing what's not serving us, receiving what our body needs, moving from deficiencies to sufficiency, right? Receiving the nutrients, receiving the minerals, receiving the things that we're deficient in our bodies. And then that will enable us to retrieve wellness and health and a sense of balance within ourselves. Okay, that sounds really simple, but all of that, even with all of that, we can still become discouraged. We can still become distracted. We can have things that happen in life that disrupt everything. And that's when what we brought up in the beginning comes back into play: community. That's why community is key. Because with a accountability community, with a community that is caring, with a community that is culturally congruent, with a community that is trauma informed, we can hold each other up, bolster each other up when each other fall down. We can remind each other, we can edify one another, we can speak life over each other. So that is how we do it. We learn, we educate ourselves, we learn to listen to our bodies and learn about how food impacts our bodies. And we release what's not serving us, we receive what we need, we retrieve that wellness in a community. So now what can you do today? Okay, what can you do with this information? Well, you can form a community of your own. You can call a girlfriend. Look, they're saying that half of society will end up with a cancer diagnosis. That's what they're saying. They're saying that most people will have a chronic disease. So today, there's surely someone that you know that either has something that they're trying to get into remission, they're trying to heal from the inside out, they're trying to release or manage, or perhaps you certainly know someone who's wanting to be preventative, right? And live their best lives. So call up a girlfriend, call up someone and say, hey, let's do this thing. Let's do this together. It's not necessarily a specific diet, but maybe it's Whole30, maybe it's something like that. Because Whole30 does help you to learn to listen to your body, right? So call up a friend, phone a friend, and partner together. If you feel like I don't know anybody who would be willing to do that with me, or I'm too embarrassed to do it with one of my friends, or my friends are too busy and I don't want to burden them, I have a community and I would love to walk alongside you. My clients, I work with them one-on-one, and we have a community together that we are building up. But I teach people, I educate people about nutrition, and I practice functionally. So we focus on root cause resolution, right? Listening to our bodies. Tomorrow we're talking about listening to our minds and our drugs, what's best for the mind. And Sunday we're talking about listening to our spirits. Is repentance what's best for our spirits? Okay, we're getting into it. So please do join us tomorrow and Sunday, same time, 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and here in Clubhouse. And yeah, if you're looking for a community to learn how to listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your spirit, have education in these areas, live your best life in community, which gives you the best chance of transformation, then you can contact me, DM me, and I would love to have a conversation with you. The first session's free. All right, so if you are on Clubhouse, I'm going to open up the stage and we can continue this conversation over there. If you are in my Facebook group, I will also be posting a prompt, a post where you can comment and we can engage more there. All right, That's what I have for today. Go in peace and presence.